Hi, this is Julia Castellana doing my presentation on behavioral neuroscience. So I'm going to be talking about the interaction between brain function into our behavior and just how it all acts. So first we're going to start with the prefrontal cortex, where it controls impulsivity as well as decision making. And this is all going to tie into how we act as a human being because impulsivity, if we're impulsive, that can be a negative thing. And decision making relates to our behavior. If we can have a good decision, probably gonna have a good behavior, right? Whereas if we make a poor decision, like doing something illegal, it's gonna be a bad behavior reflecting back on us. So that's just one small short thing that ties in. Next, from our prefrontal cortex is our impulse control. I think our our impulse control ties in very much to our behavior and how we act. Impulsivity is something that we learn as like our prefrontal cortex is developing. So we're learning at a young age where impulsivity can affect our decision making and planning. Like as said in the last slide, that is how that works. So this just all relates into our behavior. And then moving on to our next slide is our limbic system. So we have our prefrontal cortex and then we have the limbic system. In our limbic system, we have the hypothalamus, the thalamus, a couple different areas breaking down. But this is also another very important that I think also relates back to our decision making and our planning. It is our emotional regulation, pretty much. So this stores memories, like first emotional memories. This is very important to people. And so here you see a lady, different faces, different emotions, and then here we have our brain and our heart. There's a saying where it's like connected, you listen to your brain or your heart, and yes. And then this picture right here in the middle is for part of the limbic system where our appetite and our sleep is regulated and controlled. Moving on is just more on the amygdala. Um, sorry. It is the emotional regulation. So we are happy, we are sad, we are mad. We wonder why we are feeling these things. These things happen and it affects our behavior. That's not something research needs to show us. That's just something that is known. And there is more about the amygdala in that picture. Next, last part of the brain is the brainstem. So I think this is the connection to this is the connection to our entire body. We have our brain, and the brainstem is at the back of our neck, containing the thalamus, the midbrain, the pons, the medulla, and our spinal cord. Our spinal cord goes down our back. All those little nerves in our brain, in our body, it's all there in one. Moving on, part of that is synaptic plasticity. As you can see in these pictures, on the left one, it's bigger and then it gets smaller and then it goes into a part that says memory loss. So as they strengthen or weaken, it's all on our memory. So somebody that has great memory may have a stronger plasticity. Somebody that has smaller ones, like this one on the right, is leaning towards memory loss, or they have short-term memory, forgetting things, and so on. Next is, I think, pretty much the most important part is nature versus nurture, excuse me. Nature is what we are born with. It's our genetic predisposition, and we can get Parkinson's. Those are diseases or parts mental illnesses that we get from them. Nurture is how we are raised. This is a loving family right here, and then the soil is being planted. It's just we're learning as we grow. As our brain grows, as we grow, we are learning. I think everything ties back into nature versus nurture, that debate, and Glida. It's an important role in our emotions, and our emotions affect our behavior. So here at the end, I have a picture of the brain and a key, and it's the key to unlocking our brain is amygdala and understanding nature versus nurture. Thank you. And here's my citations. Thank you very much.